It just said, "Hold my Chimayo cocktail." That's right. New Mexico takes
This gets to my mind. It gets to my mind. I always say New Mexico. Hi guys, good day and welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite girls, and we are back again with another video. Today we've been checking out a couple of videos and we are so excited. We are thrilled. You know, we've known the US to be a friendly place with friendly people. So this one title is kind of, the title of this one is kind of like
different.
Yes,
so opposing like everything
that we've known.
Yes.
So yeah, so the title is
Top 10 Most Unfriendly States in the USA.
Okay. Like literally unfriendly because the US are known to smile at anybody.
Yes, at
everybody.
Strangers.
Yes, like
so,
from most videos that we've seen, they said if anybody in the US sees you, they just smile at you. They're very friendly.
I don't know your name.
So seeing this one unfriendly, we are actually curious. We can't wait to get into it. But before then, if you're new here, please do want to give us a big thumbs up if you eventually enjoy our video, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It will go a long way. And without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video.
Every state has its own personality, but some are no doubt friendlier than others. Many people will point fingers at New York or Boston for being rude, fast-paced, and perpetually unhappy. And let's be real, if you endured the winters up there, you would be cranky too. On the contrary, the South has a reputation for its Southern charm and polite yes ma'ams. A native New Yorker once told me that New Yorkers are incredibly friendly and it's the Southerners that are less than hospitable with their fake politeness. Let me explain. A native New Yorker would argue that their fast-paced nature is about respecting other people's time, while the South is rude for talking to the cashier for half an hour about dill and sweet pickles despite having 30 people in line waiting to check out. This would never happen in New York. It's hard to quantify what it means to be unfriendly as it's very subjective. So this video will use several markers to determine which states are least likely to welcome you with open arms, a glass of sweet tea, and a yes ma'am.
Okay, let's see.
This list will look at crime rates because, to be honest, it's hard to imagine the guy stealing your car is friendly.
What makes you think New York will be the first?
New York is like the busiest state in the US.
Okay.
Do you get? And here in Lagos, since Lagos is like the busiest state, everyone is like literally
minding their business.
Angry because it's like stressful, the traffic and everything. And I think US goes through similar things. When you've been stuck in traffic for hours,
do you think you're stuck in traffic for hours? See, you can't compare it to Nigeria, right?
New York is really busy. It's like really busy. It's like,
so you feel you're number 10. Okay, like
the most unfriendly should be New York.
Let me take a wild guess, and yours is New York. Let me say mine would be let me just say California. So if you're from California, please
so at the end of the day we are going to see whose guess was right.
So. I feel like we are both wrong. But like, let's just see. So my number 1 is California, your number 1 is New York.
New York, yes, most unfriendly.
So, California. I don't know, let's just see.
We'll also look at overall population loss, volunteerism, and tipping culture. And lastly, we will also look at anecdotal evidence from people who have been to all 50 states. Without further ado, the 10th least friendly state is Rhode Island. Most people won't be shocked that a New England state is on this list. With heavy traffic, harsh winters, and the nickname the Ocean State, despite not having a climate to enjoy the ocean, Rhode Island is one of the less friendly places to visit. Currently, the national average tip is 16.4% of the check, while Rhode Islanders leave 15.3%, and according to a recent survey, 42% of Rhode Islanders consider themselves to be ruder than other states. Rhode Island has a low crime rate, but it's hard to argue with a state that self-identifies as unfriendly. Number 9 on this list may surprise many viewers, since it's in the Sun Belt where people are generally pleasant. Alabama comes in at number 9. It has lower than average opportunities for volunteering and a higher than average crime rate. And they also have a lot of people screaming that annoying "Roll Tide" at every intersection.
Oh my god.
But not all is lost in Alabama. They saw a net increase in population and their crime rates, though high, have been steadily dropping. Additionally, Alabamans tip higher than the national average, So why did they make this list when they have also made the list as one of the friendlier states? The answer? It depends on who you ask. It's like what New Yorkers say. Alabamans take pride in their ability to insult you without insulting you. Ever heard of the phrase?
Insult you without actually
Insulting you. They take pride in the ability to insult you without actually insulting you.
I think it's like a very, you know, when somebody insults, says something rude to you, but it doesn't like click. Or it sounds nice initially until you sit down and think about it later. And you're like, oh my god, this person just insulted me.
I feel like it might come as a sarcastic comment or something. I don't know. How do you insult somebody without insulting the person? Can you give us an example? Let me think about it. You can say, you look nice today.
Yes, that means other days I've not been looking nice. Other days I've not been
look, let me tell you, it can be like, you look nice today, unlike you.
Yes.
You might even get that kind of remark. You might just smile and say, thank you. You know, like, unlike me.
That means other days I've not been nice.
Like, unlike me to be nice, unlike me to look good. So yeah, I think that's a perfect example. But Alabama, why?
Why? Why the rudeness?
You can defend it if you're from there and maybe you don't think this is true. You can. Let's just continue. This is getting interesting.
Bless your heart. Sounds friendly, right? Not in Alabama. Number 8 comes in at no surprise, even to New Yorkers. The only surprise is that it's not number 1 on this list. That state is New Jersey. Despite their reputation for bad driving, they are actually the 9th safest state to drive in. That aggressive road rage may seem unfriendly, but in reality, it's assertive driving. Shows like Jersey Shore and The Real Housewives of New Jersey do little to save its reputation as they perpetuate the stereotype of the loud, heavily accented, rough around the edges Jerseyans. Even fictional dramas like The Sopranos offer little redemption. On average, they tip less and volunteer less. Despite their rough reputation, New Jersey is actually one of the safest states to live in, with a crime rate significantly lower than the national average. Unlike Alabama, if they insult you, you'll know it. That we land back in New England. Connecticut, one of the wealthiest states in the US, may seem like a friendly place to visit with its palatial mansions, yacht clubs, and generous coastline, but many viewers and locals describe an air of snobbiness that comes along with sprawling golf courses. Many people who move to Connecticut report feeling like noses were turned up at them from country club soccer moms. Despite the state's wealth, they tip lower than the national average, volunteer less than most, and have lost population in the last few years. What they lack in friendliness, they make up for in education with one of the higher literacy rates in the nation. And who wouldn't want to strive for greatness when this state hosts the Ivy League school of Yale? Number 6 heads about as far away from Connecticut as possible. Alaska, the last frontier, has always been a place for hardy people to homestead. It's not for the faint of heart, and some of that grit and determination has not translated well into friendliness. Alaska is the biggest anomaly on this list. They tip higher than the national average, had slightly more people move in than out, and they have some of the highest volunteer opportunities per capita. Despite this, Alaska shows up on numerous unfriendly lists. Where Alaska fails most is in its high crime rate and climate. Alaska has one of the highest violent crime rates in the nation, much of which is against Native women that goes unreported. What makes Alaska most unfriendly can likely be attributed to its polar night and midnight sun. Studies show that living in the subarctic, where the sun is up for 20 or more hours in the summer and down for 20 or more hours in the winter, can disrupt circadian rhythms, contribute to depression and alcoholism, and thus create a feeling of unfriendliness. When it comes to being unfriendly, Alaska just looked at Rhode Island and said, "Hold my beer." We're just past the halfway point, and this list flies all over the map. There doesn't seem to be one region that corners the market on rudeness, despite the fact that most of the nation is giving the Northeast the side eye right now. Number 5 brings us to a state that straddles the Rust Belt. Almost heaven, West Virginia, to be exact. West Virginia does have high volunteerism within the state, has a crime rate slightly below the national average, and they tip higher than the national average. According to our criteria, you would think they would escape the wrath of this list. However, West Virginia's biggest shortcoming, which tends to overshadow its virtues, is that people simply don't want to live there. They lose a
That's
lot of
true,
people
that's
each year, largely due to lack of employment. This state falls at the economic opposite end of the spectrum than Connecticut, and both extremes seem to result in a lack of social graces. One West Virginian argues that the state's residents have a chip on their shoulder, constantly defending themselves against the nation's stereotypes. West Virginia is considered one of the most stereotyped states from the notion that they are all hillbillies to cousins getting married. Wouldn't you be unfriendly to an outsider if you were constantly debunking the unfriendliness of others? One region that is never accused of being unfriendly is the Midwest, which makes the fact that Michigan is on this list a real head-turner.
No,
One can
Chris,
point
you've
fingers
not
at
seen-
Detroit and blame
Yes,
all the
you've not
state's
seen
problems
mine.
on its
Yes.
decline,
You know
but the
they have
state
a feeling
itself
we are
falls
both
short
wrong,
of
but-
many criteria. They have some of the
Let's
lowest
see.
volunteerism and are the 10th most dangerous state.
Oh.
They tip on par with the national average and gained ever so slightly in population, so it's not a total loss. Michiganders make the same argument as the Northeast, claiming that they are not rude or unfriendly, they are just straight shooters.
Okay.
And who wouldn't want an honest friend? Maybe Michiganders have a point. However, studies show that Michiganders are some of the loneliest and have experienced urban blight more than any other state.
Yes.
We can't fault them for having a hostile attitude after events like the water pollution in Flint. Studies show that 25% of the population suffers from PTSD.
That's sad.
So while they may not be the friendliest, at least they have an excuse. What is New York's excuse? Speaking of New York, I don't know what's more shocking, that it took this long to
Number
bring it
three,
up, or that it's on the third on the
number
list.
one.
They drive like maniacs, tip significantly lower than the national average, can barely maintain their population, and whether they are straight shooters like Michigan or just flat out
Number
rude,
three,
New
you
York is
sure?
the number
I think
one
I was
guest
close.
state when it
Close.
comes
Yeah.
to being
No,
unfriendly.
California,
Studies
you
show
better
that
come
their
number
accents
one.
may have something to
Definitely
do
not
with
even
their
going to your
perception.
names.
New Yorkers, however, pride themselves on how friendly they are.
Okay.
If anyone stares at a subway map for more than 3 seconds, they will be bombarded by locals asking if they need help. New Yorkers take pride in their uncanny ability to navigate the labyrinth of subways from memory and on command. Ever try to order a bagel at a deli during the breakfast rush? If it takes you longer than 2.5 seconds to place an order, the deli clerk and line behind you will jump down your throat and push past you until you make up your mind. The clerk won't chat with you about your day or inquire
Okay.
about your favorite flavors of cream cheese. While you may see this as unfriendly, the savvy New Yorker would argue the opposite. It is friendly of them to rush you in order to be considerate of the 30 people behind you that are in a hurry to get to work. What do you think about New York? Tell us in the comments below. Talk about a hold my beer situation. The following 2 states have been deemed less friendly than New York. Digest that for a moment. 2 states are less friendly than New York. The first state to pass its beer over to New York is Arkansas. Arkansas has secured its spot as the second least friendly state in the
How
U.S.
did this
They
girl
take
make
on
it
almost
number
the
three?
national average and have gained some population over the years.
Number one
However,
is
they don't
California.
volunteer as much as many
Definitely
other
not.
states, and their
Definitely
crime
not.
rate is significantly higher than the national average. Most people would use the crime statistic alone. Arkansas is isolated by many natural barriers, from the Mississippi River to the Ozark Mountains. It was a haven for criminals hiding out in Indian territories, and ultimately the state has evolved into a series of enclaves of local and folk culture. Perhaps Arkansas isn't so much unfriendly as it is insular, which can read as unfriendly to an outsider. Like West Virginia, Arkansas has been plagued with banjo-strumming hillbilly stereotypes, and that constant suspicion of outsiders has earned its place as number 2. Forget holding that
Oh my
beer.
God, my head
Our next
is
state just said,
beating.
hold my Chimayo cocktail. That's right. New Mexico takes
It gets my mind. It gets my mind. I want to say New Mexico.
I won. I was close, but I still won. It was still
I
part of
want
the
to say New Mexico because of that last video that we saw that we were living. You know, I was skeptical about
Exactly.
it.
That should have actually been like the
Why?
first option.
Why?
but-
Why?
But then she failed. So
You didn't also win. It's not number one.
I was close.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
close.
you tried. So I give it to you. I was so pained. California people, you people are not on the list.
I think I would really love to know more about this New Mexico.
It's actually like a very
Like it's like it's not a really a nice place to even stay at
yes,
all.
because
at
like a lot
all.
of
yes,
things, and it keeps coming number one for the negative things.
Yes.
Bad to live in, this and that, you know.
Okay, yeah.
The economy is bad, cost of living.
Exactly. I would really love to know if you stay there or you're based there. Yes, would love to know more about it and see if probably this is another view, or it has a better view, or it has a
the
better,
fact
yeah.
that the whole earthquake thing, is it earthquake or what do they call it?
I think
Hurricane or
yeah,
hurricane.
sawdust or something.
Yes, the fact that it happens here and the cost of living is already so high and a lot of things already so
Exactly,
happening,
yes.
and then
The
people
crime
are
rate.
not also friendly.
Yeah.
What will make you want to stay there? The fact that the education is not good due to, oh, we are saying this,
Medical,
sorry,
yes.
due to the previous video that we saw, the analysis
Yeah.
that we saw. If you have not seen that, I will link it here. New Mexico came as number one for that analysis. Is for the reason why people are leaving and why it's the worst place anybody would want to stay in the US.
Yeah.
And now it comes as number one again for the most unfriendly
place. How bad could it be? I thought maybe okay, even with the whole challenges they are having,
they
the
would
crimes,
be happy with each
everyone
other
would
and
still, yes, exactly.
yeah.
Everyone would still be happy. So it's just so sad.
Let's just say.
Prize as being America's least friendly state. They are average tippers and maintain a relatively stable population. Unfortunately, they have the second highest crime rate, have low volunteerism, and have the biggest gap between rich and poor. There's also a huge disparity between poverty rates among Native peoples and the rest of the state. Perhaps their unfriendliness is a response to their fight for equality. Or maybe it's something unworldly? Roswell, New Mexico is, after all, a beacon for UFO hunters and conspiracy lovers. Perhaps their unfriendliness is a lingering effect of a nuclear bomb. The first nuclear bomb ever dropped on Earth happened in New Mexico on July 6, 1945, as a test run during World War II. The explosion could be seen as far as 200 miles away. Who would be friendly after that? Of course, there are friendly people in New Mexico, and one only needs to look at its natural beauty to see why its people have reason to smile. Check out our video on the best places in New Mexico for more things to learn about New Mexico. We finished the list, but here's a bonus fact. A study showed that accents alone play a huge role in whether a person is perceived as rude, intelligent, honest, and even nice. 51% of those polled said New Yorkers are rude, while only 7% viewed them as nice. Those same polls show that the New York accent is the second most hated accent, losing to the South. So are these southern and northeastern states getting a bad rap just because of their accents? And are Midwesterners actually just a bunch of unfriendly people hiding behind a friendly accent? You decide in the comments below.
A friendly accent.
Oh wow.
This video was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Like all over the place.
I got my guess right. Almost. I was like
almost.
Yes, almost. And then she didn't get it at all.
Look, if you didn't get the distinction, you did not get it.
I was close. Do
you know why I'm so pained? It's the fact that New Mexico actually came to mind.
Yes. And then she didn't say
point,
it, but you didn't say it. But you didn't say it. Thank you.
But the thing is that we are actually like, we really need to learn about this New Mexico.
Exactly.
Like, if you're particularly from there, would really like to read from you. Like, what's your thought? What's with this? A lot going on, people leaving, and you know,
the crime rates and everything,
and the disaster happening. You know, it's just a lot, and yeah. So I absolutely like enjoyed watching this one. As much as I know that these are just somebody's perspective, right?
Exactly.
And we don't know, most of his analysis were based on tips and yeah, like almost each of them he mentioned the amount of tips they give and how much they volunteer and how much they do not volunteer. So I feel like this is not totally accurate. We can't just conclude based on this. This is just somebody's opinion.
Exactly.
So yeah, we are not judging any state or concluding based on this. It's just a fun video that we thought to check out. Of course, we consider everybody from the US friendly.
Definitely.
And if we get the opportunity to visit any state, which one? New Mexico, we are going there tomorrow. So yeah, this is just a very nice video. And thank you all so much for watching it with us. Do you agree with this list if you're from the USA or not? We want to know your thought. So yeah, thank you so much. God bless you. Stay safe out there. Please do also subscribe. It's a great long way. Give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed that reaction. Share this video with your friends and loved ones so you can support the channel. And you can also support the channel by
buying us the what?
A coffee. To be highly appreciated. The link to do that is in the description box below. Please check it out. Thank you so much. God bless you. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you all on our next video.